Hey, folks.
Fires me up.
I'm Matt Major from Growth Mode Content. Welcome to Good News York. We're already shot out of a cannon.
Shot right out.
Joined, as always, by my spiky-haired friend here, Mike.
Yeah, you know why I'm spiky haired today?
Because that's what you do every day?
Close. Because you shamed me on the one day I wore a hat. You're like, you look like a douchebag country singer.
You did. I mean,
you weren't wrong. But now I'm just like, this morning, my son, I was running late, and he goes, Dad, just don't do your hair. Wear a hat. I like when you wear a hat. I go, well, I would, but apparently I'm a douchebag when I didn't say that.
I gotta ask you really quick. Did you ever in your rock and roll music career stop and go, you know what? If I just went country, I could make a lot more money?
Yes, and I didn't because it's not me.
That's fair.
You know,
You're from Herkimer, though. You could have pulled it off.
I could have pulled it off because people don't realize that there's parts of upstate New York that, I mean, it's like down south.
We got more hillbilly in us.
I mean, dude, listen, we used to load up the pallets on a Friday of my senior year, and the boys would drive up to East Herkimer, drop them, and then we'd all meet in the middle of a field at 8 o'clock and light them up and listen to Garth Brooks. So I think I'm qualified.
You are.
But I don't mind when artists go country, right?
Sure.
Like, sometimes it works. But for me, it wouldn't be authentic, and that's just not who I am. Like, for example, like when Darius Rucker went.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Aaron Lewis is the one that pissed me off. Yeah. Because he would also do the twang. Yeah. Like, if you're going to do country, don't fake the twang. Because I used to have a joke in my set where that's like me going up, like, getting up right here on the podcast and going, "What's up, everybody? I'm from Liverpool, New York." You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't.
They should totally do that. People that live in Liverpool should totally just rock that.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
we
have a genuine rock star.
This poor guy's sitting here waiting
in studio, joining us today. You know this man, even if you don't know this man, because he's honestly got one of the best brands in town. You've seen Hummingbird heating and cooling driving around. Their colorful signs, colorful things. And you might have even seen this gentleman in the news. We're going to get to all that in a second. Sure. But let's start out. My man Chad from Hummingbird. Welcome to Good News York, buddy.
Chad, we love that you're here, man. We love that you're here.
Listen, man, we could honestly talk to you for days and days and days. And we should. But let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
How'd you get here and kind of what you got going on today?
With the brand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I started heating air conditioning probably 14 years ago or something. Had my own property, and I was kind of like troubleshooting, with YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of my buddies were involved, and one thing led to another. I ended up calling one, and I had to replace the furnace. And I was telling him that I was going to go to Bosie's to kind of get into it. And one thing led to another. He was like, "Come work for me," and rolled me into it. And I ended up coming up with a name because we did a job one night, and pay to do the emergency install at night was, it was like double. And I'm well, name my company 24/7 HVAC, just so I can get nighttime work and I can work in the day and build my own, brand at night. And had that for probably 12 years. We did really well with it. It was nice, I was an owner occupier, so I worked sales, service.
Sure.
And then one thing led to another after, having, this business for 12 years, acquiring real estate and kids. I'm just like, I would try to talk people off the ledge at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like, I might not have parts for it. I'll be there first thing in the morning. Maybe we'd bring them a space heater. But I wasn't really being true to the 24/7 name. And I didn't want to be known for it anymore. So I started researching, marketing companies that do branding. And one thing led to another. And I met a girl, Amanda, who used a company, Kick Charge Creative. And I kind of was like inboxing her and getting some knowledge. And then I ended up, talking with Dan Antonelli, who owned the brand, and kind of started researching him for like about a year or so and all the brands he had done in the home service space. And it really proved that he was probably the best in the country, maybe in the world. He's got brands in Australia. I mean, he's got brands all over the continent.
Jeez.
And we ended up deciding to pull the trigger with him. And that was the change of everything. It really skyrocketed for us pretty quickly. Yeah. So that got me into, the brand.
So that's when you became Hummingbird, right?
Yeah.
And the rebrand included all these colors and things that I've mentioned.
Yeah. So what it was he gave us 6 options with names. So at first I wanted him to rebrand my name.
I see.
And then we kind of got talking. He's like, "You want me to be transparent?" And I love transparency.
Sure.
I love it, like right to my face. And he's like, "Doesn't make sense. The brand's awful. The logo, It's like, all right. I'm like, I did it myself, so I'm no designer. And one thing led to another, and we ended up going with the full package where they do complete overhaul of your business, you know?
That's great.
And so they came up with 6 different names, kind of based it off stuff with me. And, you know, I always say HVAC saved my life. You know, I was in definitely some darker times before it. And it kind of gave me a career, something to raise my family of, something to be proud of, something to give back to the community with. Because I was appreciative because, you know, people helped me. So I always wanted to give back. I've always been a pretty big, you know, person to give back. And, you know, so you know, one thing led to another. We had all these different names, and one was like Right Track Heating and Air, and it was like, you know, it was a guy on a choo-choo train, tracks.
I like that.
And it was like me hanging out, and I'm like, he's like,
Conductor
you know, want to tell the story how I put you back on the right track. And then I started thinking, I don't know if I really want it to tell my whole
personal story. Yeah.
And like, you know, yeah, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm sure it'll come out one way or the other eventually, but I'd rather, you know, go with that. So we kind of lived with each name. Me and my wife, I'd call her and she'd be like, Right Track Heating and Air.
Oh, wow.
Persevere. There was a bunch of different ones, and we didn't like Hummingbird. And then one day we woke up and it made sense. I'm like, she's like, Hummingbird. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It's going to stick in people's brain. Like, it's, you know, it's an animal. Why an animal for a business? We just bought this awesome house that we really attributed to finding this house from her sister who passed away. She was kind of like our guardian angel type thing. And we got to this house and we were watching all these birds. All of a sudden, like, you know, we're young and hip, nightclubs, and then now we get this new house and we're bird watching. You know, life changed quickly. And so the bird thing with her passing, it all really seemed, you know, synonymous to like it was supposed to happen. And wow, it was a blessing.
You could have used all 3 business names, waited till you got a bad Yelp review, and then said, okay, ditch that name until you got it down to the one. No, I love the name personally.
Yeah.
That's great, man. And that's, I think that says a lot too, just from a business perspective, the power of branding, right?
Yes.
Can you just kind of tell us, obviously it's made a big impact. How big of an impact has it made in the growth of your business versus maybe any of the other initiatives you've taken in the last couple of years?
Yeah. So, I mean, we were a $1 million company when we rebranded. And then, you know, within probably January, February, March is when I released it. So 9 months, 9, 10, 11, 12, we ended up hitting 2.7 million.
Wow.
Just with the rebrand.
Good for you.
And then this past year we hit 3.9. I think right now we're on pace for 8 million this year.
God, wow. I feel like I'm on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. Okay.
And
what were your sales last quarter?
The return has been insane, you know, 100%.
Good for you.
In 2 years.
God bless you, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's branding is everything.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about a little bit what this has allowed you to do, right? Because you know, you talked a little bit about why you like to give back and things like that. And honestly, we've had you on deck to come in and just talk about your story, your business for a long time. But then suddenly this week you appeared in the news.
Yeah.
And that
for a good deed.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we got here for those of you watching or listening. This story came across my desk and I said, oh my God, we got to talk about this. And Matt and I started to talk about it on the air this week. And then Matt says, wait a minute, that's Chad. I know Chad from Profound and Danny knew you. And so we said, forget talking about it. Let's get him on the air. Yeah. And, you know, what you did, which I'll have you talk about, is absolutely what this show is about. Good News York, right? We want to feature awesome people, awesome things, awesome businesses, positive stuff. And, I mean, you embody that. As you tell your story, if you're comfortable talking about some of the struggles that got you to where you are now, which also inspired you for this story and the help that you've given.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're comfortable.
Yeah. No, I wear it on my sleeve. I just, you know, I ended up, was younger. I bought a nightclub in Armory Square, which was Stylene's.
Stylene's?
Yeah, it was Red Door when I bought it.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So we bought that. You know, I bought a nightclub when I was 23. Got out when I was 26 and, you know, barely made it out alive.
Yeah, man.
You know, and then, like, I ended up with an addiction for a while, probably till my daughter was born around. She's 17. She's out in the car. She just took her driving test. We're waiting to see if she passes.
Nice.
But, you know, 17 years, 16 years of, you know, I've been sober.
Good for you.
And so, you know, I was 30 or something. So 7, 8 years probably of addiction. And, you know, I'm pretty bad, you know, got into IV drug using and whatnot. And so down a really hard spiral, pretty much lost everything that I built up, had this nightclub and all this stuff, and kind of lost it all. Happened to marry my wife on the way out was like the one thing that
saved you.
Maybe saved me. But you know, that was then, and a lot of people were in my corner helping me. You know, I had a really good support system. I had people that, you know, still believed in me a little bit. So, you know, I was thankful for that. And then, you know, I got into the HVAC, and now I was able to like go to your house. I had this gift almost, like, as how I looked at it. It was like, I didn't know how to fix your furnace. I can go to like this little old lady's house. She's cold, and I can like fix her furnace and leave, and she's warm.
Yeah, man.
It was the greatest feeling in the world to me. I'm like, this is insane that I have this gift now that I know how to fix this stuff. And it was like, for years, I didn't believe it. I was so used to being in a different space that I'm like, it's incredible that I can do this. You know? And so
I worked in, I bartended for over 10 years in the Ithaca area, and I came out of it with a hell of a alcohol addiction. And I've been sober from alcohol since October 1st, 2020.
Nice.
I understand how it's so easy to get wrapped up in that lifestyle, and then you don't realize you got a problem until it's too late.
Right.
And the fact that you were able to come out of it and to be where you are now is absolutely amazing, man. And I get what you mean too. For those of you that have struggled with addiction, a lot of times those people end up helping other people, doing things that help other people because it helps you heal too, right?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
You know, I said that to the woman, Mary. You know, I'm like, it's not really, I'm like, as selfish as it sounds, it's for you. I'm like, but it's really for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I go, because it really makes me feel good knowing that I could do that for you. I'm like, so in some selfish kind of way, it's for me as well. It's for you.
Because you know what it was like when you needed help.
Yeah.
And you were like, your back was against the wall. So you want to make sure other people don't go through that. Dude, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just being able to make somebody smile and then know, like, you know, I was known for being like, call Chad, you know, oh, you got an issue, call Chad. He'll come over and check it out on Facebook. I promoted my business. In the beginning, when I was still learning service calls, I'd go to people's house and just do it for free if they were struggling, just because I wanted the free knowledge.
Sure.
So I would go there to be like, oh, shit, I never came across this. If I couldn't figure it out, a lot of times I'd be like, hey, one of our senior guys is going to reach out to you. It's a little beyond me. I'd leave and never call him, never charge. Yeah. You know, I just call and let them know they had to call someone else.
You know, HVAC people, by the way, you really do. If there is a God, you do God's work. Because I'm going to tell you something. They are a lifeline. I don't know if you've experienced this, or you or anybody. I feel like anytime my furnace is broke, it's the week that it's 0 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
In the winter. Or if my furnace is broke in the summer, it's the week that it's 90 degrees. Why does it always seem to line
They're
up?
working hard.
Is that right? That's what I figured.
It's working hard.
But you guys come along, man, and we're like, I got kids, we're freezing.
Yeah.
You guys come in, and it sounds like you're, you know, Johnny on the spot, man. You're right there, and we appreciate
definitely take that heat or that AC for granted until you don't have it.
Right.
Because all of a sudden you're like, oh, I woke up, it's 50 degrees in my house, and you panic, and then you start feeling that cold. Then you start thinking about the pipes and all this stuff, and then the fear sets in. So, you know, there's definitely a pain point in heating and air.
We started talking about the background a little bit, but would you mind telling us just a little bit more for the folks that didn't hear this story? The Mary and the organization that you helped.
Yeah.
What exactly did you do for him, I guess?
Yeah, so it's a funny story the way it happened. I'm a huge slave to karma, I tell people. I'm like, I slave to karma. I feel like karma's given me the life that I've had, you know, just by always wanting to do good for people. And, you know, even through my bad times, I still always believed in helping and doing well. My own addiction never really hurt anybody outside of myself. You know, I never really robbed and, you know, and took advantage of people. So I was always kind of true and just was a slave to karma. I was a, you know, a bit of a conscious hippie type upbringing, you know. So I've always had that karma mentality, like do good, it'll come back, do good, it'll come back. So I've always been like that. And it's a funny story is we give furnaces away all the time throughout the year. You know, we're always giving people in need. I do big you know, just cash for holidays to people. We'll send gift cards. I've always believed in using the business for that. And I was it's a funny story. I was at, and this is the karma in the full circle that I'm talking about. I was at a doctor's appointment, and we took out a really nice hot water tank, brand new, like, you know, a couple years old, nothing wrong with it. And they were going with a tankless water heater. So we took it out, and I put a message on Facebook. I went to a shoulder appointment, doctor's. sitting there, and my cousin who works for me, she's my production manager, called me, and she's like, yeah, a couple people are calling here about the hot water tank. And I'm like, and then I'm getting inboxes, and I'm on the phone with her, and it's like, I'm looking, and it's all these like friends of mine that got money, real estate guys and this and that. And, you know, people that just should not be asking me for a $500 free tank. It's to help somebody.
Sure.
So I'm on the phone telling her, I go, listen, Ash, any of my rich friends come by that own real estate because they all want something for free because they got rentals and they all got money. I'm like, tell them it's not for them. It is literally for somebody in need, doesn't got a hot water tank. You know, we'll hook them up. I'm like, so telling my real estate friends, stay away, you know, like jokingly. And the woman next to me starts laughing, and she's like, oh my God, that was so funny. She was like, that was so nice of you. And I'm like, oh, how you doing? Yeah, I was like, I explained her the story. I own Hummingbird heating. She goes, oh my God, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I want to take a picture of your vehicle with my vehicle. I'm Beth Baldwin and my mom's Carol Baldwin, and we have the Cardinal car. Because my mom passed away, and the Cardinal and all the year, you know, she, like, you know, the Cardinal was a
symbol. Yeah.
Them. And so I ended up telling her the story about Maria with our bird. And she's like, oh my God. And I started telling her that once my sister-in-law passed away, we found out she was donating all her time to, in my father's kitchen, helping feed homeless. So, and they're friends of ours, the Taminos. So we do a lot of donating with them as well in honor of my sister-in-law. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I want to donate for the gala in your sister's memory, your sister-in-law's memory. So we're going in November.
Wow.
I was going to put a message on Profound. We get a bunch of people to go and a bunch of tables. So she's like, I wasn't even sure how serious she was, you know, but we switched contacts. You know, I liked her on Facebook and whatnot. And then I gave her my wife's number. By the time I got back, my wife is in tears crying. They've been on the phone for like 2 hours. Oh. And I'm like, oh, wow, she really called. And I'm like, this is amazing. She's like an awesome person. I was super happy and proud. And one thing, you know, led to another. On Facebook, we're always talking and inboxing and whatnot. Well, somebody tagged me on the Mary story, and I saw all the comments, and I saw Beth was, you know, had this big message about how much she loved Mary, and I respect Beth's opinion. So then I inboxed Beth, and I put a message on, you know, I'm like, hey, Beth, this is, you know, have your friend reach out to me. I'll go down there and see if I can maybe get the unit working. They had someone coming on Tuesday.
So what was the Mary story? The Mary was that they didn't have a furnace for the community.
Yeah, so Mary runs a community center and really feeds inner city kids. Like, I've been there now for a couple of days and seeing the people that are coming in and out, and, you know, just her taking care of people. And I later found out she does this backpack thing where she gives, you know, hundreds of backpacks away to kids in need, all inner city kids. And, you know, I grew up in the city. I remember even the free lunches, like in the summertime, that was my jam.
Heck yeah.
You know, the bike and ride the BMX to go eat breakfast, eat lunch at the schools. And I'm like, they're not feeding the kids. I guess the building was really hot. So she was giving them their breakfast and their lunch together, and the district that supplied the food said, you can't do that.
Right.
We're stopping the food. So I'm like, let me go down and see if I can just fix it. I went down there, and, you know, I'm looking at the unit, and someone did try to fix it for her, but they, you know, they didn't realize there was a leak. So all the refrigerant leaked out, and you're going to be able to fix the one. And I'm just like looking, and I'm like, I should just give this. I called my partner, and I'm like, hey, I want to give her a couple of units and just donate them, bang it out for her. You know, she's feeding kids and whatnot. My partner's like, absolutely, you know, get it done. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went down and I told her, and, you know, one thing led to another. And then, you know, she took a picture of me, I think, put it on Facebook, and then the news got in.
As they should, man. That's so great.
Yeah.
This is what this show is about, dude.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a great feeling.
That's awesome.
Crying. She's crying. I'm crying.
I mean, but you didn't only help her and the community center.
But at least you're not sweating, right?
Right. You helped dozens, if not hundreds, of kids.
I think about me and when I was an addict. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to have to take care of a child in that state I was in. So I could just imagine the kids are down there that got addicts for parents, and that she provides food for them. And that's pretty much that was the whole entirely for me. Like, you know, anything else outside of that, I didn't care. Is that this woman is providing time and her time and food to, you know, help inner city kids eat and, you know, get backpacks. So to me, that was all I needed to know. And I'm like, I'm in for the kids. You know, I'm always like, we try to help anyone when it comes to the kids.
Sure.
It's just open checkbook for me pretty much. I can't say no when it comes to kids. So
you're the best, man.
That's I love this guy because he shares my values in business. You know, we're part of the community. Yeah. So it's 100%. Great that we're successful and and we make money and one day buy a big house or something, that's cool. But what really makes you respectable is exactly what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
And I just love seeing people have that mindset.
It's absolutely amazing when someone can be so selfless like that. And obviously your struggles help that. But I mean, she must have been blown away. What was her reaction?
Yeah, she couldn't believe it. She started crying, and I had to put my sunglasses on. And then Fran Brown happened to be there getting a haircut.
Coach Fran Brown,
yeah,
Syracuse.
Yeah, he was there, and her son has a barber shop right there, and he cuts a lot of kids' hair, and he's got his own business, and so she's introducing me to Fran and her son. And I'm like trying,
You're like, I always wanted to meet you, but not when I'm crying.
Yeah, but she had me choked up a little bit, but and that was it. Like that feeling that I got from that was a reward to me as well.
Absolutely,
knowing that I can do that and I can provide that. And so to me, it's like it was a win-win for both of us.
It's as good as a payment. It's a payment in the form of emotion,
Yeah, I tell, I got a lot of friends in business, and I tell them all, man, give more. Like we really give our team, all the guys on our team, we pay a lot. We pay top industry pay for our technicians. All our installers get process pay off installs. Our service sales guys get, commissions plus their hourly. We pay your medical, dental, vision. Every Tuesday I have catered breakfast. I feed them. Monthly we'll do like getaways. Might be like Friday at 2:00. We're done working, meet at the retreat. We're having dinners. We have a party at the house with the pool. Constantly just taking care of my team. And, and in turn, they take care of the company. In turn, I'm able to help the community. And it's just it's a big circle of.
Dude, that's the part that I harp on, and I just absolutely love how you said that. Is it's great from a moral standpoint to take care of. It's what people should do, right?
Right.
But also, if you step back as the greedy business owner, it is the recipe for a successful business.
Yeah.
Because I bet your turnover is incredibly low.
Very low.
And I bet your loyalty to the company. And, we've all seen, especially in probably some service industries, and I can think of a number of them where we've called a company and they've come to our house and the laborers show up, and half the time when they're doing their job, they're just bitching about the company. This guy's got me doing all these hours, and
working 80 hours. We get the opposce.
And that's the thing.
We get the opposite all the time.
It's not good for the business.
No, and Matt and I have talked about this on the air before. We're not going to get into the whole discussion, but basically, the concept that, you don't have to make your employees work 80 hours a week. You don't have, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you got to overwork yourself. If you take care of your employees, it comes back full circle. You give 100%. Them a living wage. You give them health benefits. You give them time with their family. They show up and they stay.
We're huge about that. We have unlimited PTO. 30 days out.
Yeah.
You schedule 30 days out unlimited all year. We don't.
If you're looking for a career, this sounds like the guy you want to work for. Hummingbird.
Also, just in general, a good trade is never going to go wrong.
Ever.
The other thing that, we're always going to need to be warm or cool.
Yes.
In our homes.
Yeah.
This is an AI-proof job,
Yeah. This is true. This is true.
We're going to get you out of here. We could talk to you forever, and we're definitely going to have you back and talk some more.
Yeah, for sure.
To close out, let's just dip into a little bit of that HVAC world and get a couple tips for people. So
I like it.
Here's what I want to know. Is it true that the cheapest air filter you could put in your furnace is good, or do I really need to buy the premium model that's $30 versus $8?
It depends on your ductwork, because what happens is if your ductwork is not designed for, say, a thick pleated filter, air conditioning and heating is like we're pushing the one climate and we're pulling it back, so it's a complete circle. So you need that airflow, because if you start to starve out the furnace, it's a thing called static pressure. You need to have right static pressure. You don't want this fan pushing, but it's pulling on this side, and you start to blow motors and things. Motors get overworked, overamped. So a lot of people, once COVID hit, wanted the thickest MERV filter they could get.
I see.
So now you have this nice circle of flow, and you're sticking a wall. So what happens is your furnace is maybe not getting enough cool air, so it's overheating. Air conditioning is making such cold air, but it's not getting enough humid air to condensate, so it starts to freeze up. So a lot of people started just, not ruining, but, you're ruining it. You're going to have a service call, whether it's going to be a blower motor shot or capacitor, you're freezing up or overheating your furnace because you've stopped that one return of the opposite air that kind of modulates the temperature. So what we tell people is the thinner one is much better, especially if you're not someone who's diligent on changing it. So, but now if your ductwork's sized right and we have a big return air, we love putting the 4-inch media filter cabinets in. It's a 4-inch filter and it's got pleats like this, which essentially makes for more surface area of air to get through.
I see.
So you can still get the right amount of CFM air passing through, even though it's thickly pleated, because there's so much more surface area inside the 4 inches of the xylophone. It's a straight wall.
I see.
Yeah.
I
a follow-up question to that 1B would be, so we have forced air, and I'm very adamant about, every year I clean out our lint system, which everybody should do, by the way. Number one cause of fires in a home. So I have things like that. And one of the things I've learned is you got to change your air filter in the HVAC system. We have forced air. And so, but there would be times I kept forgetting. Oh, yeah. So I subscribed recently to a service where they send me every 3 months for like $20 a month.
Yeah.
They send me one. And a lot of times it comes and I'm like, oh, right, I forgot about that. Is that a good, okay, so that's reputable to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they've seen it.
Yeah, our number one service call a lot of times is dirty filter.
Oh, wow.
Because you got this filter that's been in there and it's gotten so dust packed that it's not letting no air in. So either your air conditioner freezes up or your furnace is overheating and tripping on short cycle. Once it gets to a certain temperature, it'll just shut off. So now people don't realize, like a short cycling furnace, you won't notice it as much because maybe it'll still heat your house. It's shutting off, reheating, shutting off, and all those on and off hits your electrical bill. You're paying, but you don't realize it, so that's where it hits it. Yeah.
We're getting schooled.
We are.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to name a couple of types of heating and cooling devices. You rate them for me on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay?
I like this.
Let's start with a traditional forced air furnace.
I mean, it's probably a 4. They're they're a lot more forgiving than pumps.
Okay.
Say.
So I'll give you another one. Window air conditioner unit.
It's it's 2, not efficient, loud.
Okay. Let's go with heat boiler system, hot water system.
So hot water boilers are probably the best. I think one of the best heating systems because they give you even heat and there's no dust. It's like in-floor radiant or just radiators. They're much better. You have a forced air system. Your bedroom's awesome, but your kids at the end of the run is not getting as much flow.
Yes.
Hot water loop is just, in-floor radiant's the best. It warms the walls, the studs in the walls. Everything gets hot with a in-floor radiant, so it's really nice, even heat.
I have one, and I'm nervous. Nest thermostats.
So, I mean, I use one at my camp.
Okay.
The reason I use it is because I have in-floor radiant heat that I keep on. Like 50, I keep it warm throughout the winter. And I have a Nest sitting next to it just because that controls the furnace back. And if this turns on, it alerts my phone. So I use it as like a backup.
Yeah.
So I like that. We don't install the Nest. There is some other ones that we do like. Ecobee is one that we do install that we like. Ecobee's, I think, maybe better than Nest.
Yeah, see, my complaint with Nest, we love it because I can control it from my phone. There's so much you can do. You can save money. But if you lose power, you lose your thermostat.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that happens anyway, right? Most systems.
Yeah, the furnace
typically.
There's no electric.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my only downfall. But
I actually have a gerbil powered one, so I don't
have a gerbil powered one.
Yeah. It costs a lot in feed, but
sure.
Offsets the electricity.
Yeah.
Last one I'll give you, Chad. Our heat pumps.
Yeah, very efficient. It's really the way of the future right now. We're really into them heavy at the moment. We do a lot of their NYSERDA stuff, so you get the rebates. They're a lot more finicky. You got to stay on top of the maintenance with heat pumps, but they are very efficient. We're just now getting into electrical. We're actually enrolling electrical in the next month. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, fully licensed electricians. And so we're doing a lot of panel change outs. That's kind of the issue we have. It's like, all of a sudden you need 50 amp, 2-pole service and people don't have room in the breaker box.
Right.
So outside of that, they're very efficient. Once they turn on, they ask for power from the panel. They stay running forever unless you power it off. But it doesn't need to if it need to make, say, cold air, compressor just ramps down, but still keeps the energy there. It just ramps back up. It never needs to ask the panel for power to start these motors. They kind of stay running. Less times that you start and stop a unit and is less money. So this is why they're more efficient.
That's incredible.
It's been the most valuable day.
Hummingbird Heating. For the people in the area who need it, what's the best website or phone number?
Give us your plugs, man. Websites, phone numbers.
Call hummingbird.com.
Nice.
Or our phone number is 315-399-9962.
We'll make sure we put that up on the screen.
Yeah.
Chad Terrinoni. Guys. Did I say that right? Terrinoni.
Yes. Did good.
Yeah.
You are very good at what you do. You're a great businessman. Your story is inspiring, and what you did for Mary and that community center is everything that the show's about.
Love it.
We love you, dude. You come back anytime.
Appreciate it.
Chad Terrinoni here on Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com.
Stick around for a couple minutes. We got a couple follow-up news stories we're going to talk about, and then tell you what's happening for the rest of the week. So we'll be right back. We're back.
Hey.
I got to learn to not give you sound effects.
Dude, you've given me 3.
You think I would have learned my mistake for the first one?
Actually 4. Well, anyway, I gave myself this.
Yeah, you showed up with that one. I wouldn't have bought that one.
It's Good News York. We're back. Sponsored by Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com. Chad Terrinoni was just on. What a fucking dude, man.
He is
like,
he's the best.
I feel,
that's the thing I like about him the most is he sees the value in these things. You don't have to talk him into it. He understands that using his success to make his team's life better and to make the community better drives more success.
Right. And we've talked about it, and we're in a time now.
It's so simple that it makes it more infuriating when you see folks that don't operate with that mind.
We're living in a time where there's a lack of empathy, and people are not moved or care about other people unless it affects them.
Yeah.
And so when you hear stories like that, and by the way, when you hear those kind of stories and maybe people are doing it to virtue signal, like, look at what I'm doing, you can tell that was genuinely from his heart. He didn't plan on putting it in the news. The only reason he got
publicity is because the woman he helped took a selfie and posted it herself.
Which makes it even more genuine. And
he didn't bring his camera crew.
No.
He didn't put out a press release. He did a good thing with no expectation of recognition or marketing value or anything of those.
Which is hard to do because sometimes you see that stuff going on, the opposite of what I was talking about. You see all these.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting to let folks know that you're doing good.
Sure.
Especially if it comes from a place of trying to inspire others to do the same.
Right.
But we've also all seen the purely performative, look how good of a person I am.
Exactly.
Nonsense.
And it was not that at all.
So. A couple things in the news that came across our desk that I said, listen, we gotta spend a few minutes on this episode and add them to the show. The first one that I saw, and I knew you would be all over, is there is some reporting on the future contract of the king of all media, Howard Stern.
Well,
so I'll give you a little background for people that aren't Stern fans. He's been with Sirius for many decades.
2005,
now.
He signed on.
Hundreds of millions of dollars they have paid him. And he's renewed his contract many times. This one has been coming up. It's something he's been talking about. It's something that's been very straightforward. And the guy's in his 70s.
So.
So it was very much expected that he might be ready to retire or at least scale back. And he scaled back quite a bit in previous contracts. But really scale back and become a retired guy, right?
Yeah.
News came out today with a bunch of outlets screaming, Howard's been canceled.
Yeah.
And they're not going to renew his contract because he was canceled.
Because he's woke.
And that was the next...
a lot of right-wing influencers were presenting it that way, which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah. He wasn't canceled.
No. I have not missed an episode of Howard Stern since probably 1997. Maybe it's a little spotty, but once he signed on to Sirius in 2005, I haven't missed an episode. And as we saw in the K-Rockathon special, I've appeared on that show a few times. And so I know the ins and outs of that show, man. And I know you do too. You listened pretty religiously for a while. So when Howard got on to Sirius, he would sign, I want to say like anywhere from 3 to 5 year contracts. And every time the 3 year, the third year, the fifth year, whatever it was, would come up, his contract year, all the callers would call in. Howard, don't. And it would become this thing where he would play with the audience and then he'd make a big announcement and he would stay. Well, I said in the last couple of years, once COVID hit, he built a studio in his house on Long Island, but also in his Florida home. And he only comes in for certain things. Like he came in when he wanted to be there in person to meet Bruce Springsteen. But all his staff is still in the New York offices. That's when I started realizing he doesn't need Sirius, and I don't think Sirius needs him anymore. We live in a world but even before this news, my projection was he's going to leave. He's not going to resign, but he's going to be on the air, whether it's once a month, whether it's 3 times a month, maybe once a week. He can't walk away from the microphone. He goes crazy. But the way this was presented was he got canceled, like you said. If you read some of the articles I've read, first of all, Sirius has not declined.
Yeah, there's not even done deal on it.
They've said they're going to offer him another contract. They just don't think he's going to sign it.
Right.
And Howard his camp is saying he's probably not going to sign it. Nothing's definitive. Now, the only thing that concerned me, which I'd love your opinion on, is part of the article that I read said, an inside source said that it's more about how he's been more left-leaning politically these days, and he thinks that because the federal government is kind of involved in Sirius in some sort of way, that the same thing with Colbert, that they're kind of pushing him out. And I don't know what to make of that.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't see it as likely. Again, you can make anything plausible, right? You go, oh, yeah, well, that's whatever. Again, this is what we've been talking about long before the recent administration took office and long before everything. We know how old he is. We know, as listening to him, how close he is to retirement and
how miserable he is, which is great.
As we talk about Chad and taking care of our people, I've honestly believed for a long time that a lot of the reason Howard's continued at all is just to keep his people
staff
employed. Because who the fuck else is going to hire a whack pack?
Well, there was a famous. There was a famous. I was talking about how
and he understands that
his contract was up every 3 to 5 years. One of my favorite.
Genuinely cares about those people.
He absolutely does. One of my favorite moments on that show in all of Stern history was a contract. His contract was up, and so he came on the air one day and announced he's re-signing. But Sal Governale, one of his writers on the show, on air personalities, was late that day. So when Sal came in, they redid the announcement and he said, "I'm not signing." And Sal breaks down because he doesn't have any money saved. He's worried about his kids, and they prank him and he signs on. And ever since that day, he's always mentioned, Jesus Christ, now I guess I do have to keep signing to keep my staff fed. Which, by the way, I listened to the replay of that. I didn't hear it live. So I experienced Sal.
Oh, you went through the wrong announcement.
I went through what Sal was going through, which is why it was one of my favorite moments in history, because I had been had. But I think a big part of it is that. But at this point, I don't think Sirius needs him. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I do. But with the way digital media is, he can go off on his own. And
that's his advantage. That's not theirs.
Do you think Sirius is going to tank when he goes?
I don't know that it's going to tank, but the idea that he doesn't, to this day, still drive subscriptions is just blatantly false. It's a secondary subscription.
Absolutely.
The Howard channels don't come out of the box. You have to pay extra to get that. And you do get a couple more beyond the Howard channels in that extra package, but not much.
Nothing that you're...
It's literally the only reason you buy onto that is for Howard, and millions of people do. So whether or not they'll stick around for just the music or the other things, I don't know. I think what they might do, as you're talking about here, I think there's a good chance that they will license some of this old content and keep the Howard 101 running.
Yeah,
the
I
replays.
think so too.
I think that's probably real easy money for Howard and a real easy thing for Sirius to do to maintain some of that audience.
I also think there'll be some spinoffs. Like I think Gary will have his own show, or anyone else that wants. John Hine.
I don't know.
I feel like Sirius will be like any sort of lineage of Howard Stern that we can keep. They might. It all depends on what Howard's going to do too.
You also got to keep in mind that luckily Howard has run out this clock so long that many of his staff are also retirement.
Yeah, that's true.
Ronnie, the limo driver, already retired.
Ronnie.
Gary could.
Gary.
You know what I mean? Old? I don't know exactly how old Baba Booey is, but
I actually do know he's 60-something.
Yeah, so he could.
Yeah.
You know? Robin absolutely could.
Yeah, and Robin's going through a lot of health problems. She's in and out, on and off with cancer.
Yeah, so
I'm sure.
You know, Fred retired like 10 years ago, and he still sits there.
Eric, yes.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of those folks, and then so who does that leave you? You got some of the younger guys.
Yeah, you got Richard and Sal, and
they will definitely get picked up by somebody if they don't do something. Like Richard and Sal, I feel like, are the ones that would have the best potential to carry their own thing.
100% agree.
But I don't know. Let me ask you this: we're getting more in the weeds than I expected to.
I could talk about Howard for 8 hours straight.
Richard and Sal are awesome. They're creative geniuses. You know, they do some phenomenal bits.
Yeah.
But if it was just them, do you think a show of just Richard and Sal would be too much?
Too much in the way of what? Like too much?
It's just too much of that.
Of the ridiculousness?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, it all depends on what the format of the show is. Are they gonna have guests? Is it just their prank calls?
Right.
I think there's a potential where I think Richard and Sal, the reason why they are very funny and very talented guys, but I think what makes them the funniest is the dichotomy between, like, the dynamic between the shit that they do on Howard's show, and Howard's like, Jesus Christ, like, why are you doing this?
So for that exact reason, I feel like
you can't masturbate at work.
Part of their gold, part of their shtick is being the
doing gay stuff,
the mediocre employee.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not the head. So you imagine now that you know, I don't know if you make it Richard or Sal. We'll go with Sal. Well, imagine Sal is the host of the show. He now has to run it like Howard does for everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't see him as either one of those fellas.
And he's an HR nightmare,
you know?
myself.
And that's the thing. That's the whole bit. What happens when the HR nightmare is the boss?
Exactly.
You know?
Then it's a problem.
Work. You could do it could be like a Michael Scott thing.
I feel like there would be a lot of closed meetings beforehand, like, listen, we're going to give you a show, but this is not going to happen.
It's definitely one of those, you're going to shoot this from your own studio in your house with no liability.
Well, actually, that's probably true, because a lot of the stunts...
And a 10-minute dump button.
Yeah, exactly. 10 minutes. No, but you're actually right. That's a good point, because a lot of the stunts that Richard and Sal did, they legally had to do... off premise.
No big corporation in New York City is like, you ain't doing that in the building.
Do it in some dingy apartment, like the Benji thing. You know, people, you know, even though the king of all media was self-proclaimed by him, like, it was kind of a joke, but it stuck. You know, he really is. And the moment that he proved it to me, it wasn't that he owned terrestrial radio, then went over to satellite and just dominated. That's the obvious stuff you see. I'm talking about when Twitter... Shortly, like when Twitter had come out and it hadn't caught on yet, Howard was kind of late to the party. And one night I'm home and I'm watching TV, and Howard gets up on Twitter and he starts tweeting for the first time, and he says, "Hey guys, I'm gonna live tweet right now. Private Parts, his movie, is on TV right now on cable. This is back when there was cable not streaming. And so I turn it to Private Parts, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and he's live tweeting during it.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, I remember this scene and this happened behind the scene. And I'm like, this motherfucker is the king of all media. He's never been on Twitter. He finally joins, and he revolutionizes, at the time, he revolutionizes Twitter in his own way, because he's the king of all media. No one had done that at that point. No one had live tweet.
Gotcha.
It was awesome. It was just great. He's amazing.
He is.
Amazing.
He is.
And, you know, if it's a political thing, that's a shame. But I'm more on the air of what you're saying, where I think it's run its course.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it's stale. I don't mean, you know, it's gone on too long.
At some point, everything ends.
It's a perfect storm. Now's the time, I think.
People need to retire. This is the one message that I would love to get across, especially to people who are baby boomers of Howard's generation. It's okay to retire.
Yeah.
You don't have to work.
You can enjoy
until the moment you drop. You don't have to.
No, and
even when you're rich, that's the worst part of these uber rich motherfuckers like Howard. And you know, I love them and it's great and all, but like, you were the last one that needs to work till you're 900 years old.
I hear him say that. He's like, I got to keep working. Do you think it's because his lifestyle now requires more income? You know what I mean?
No, he's got it. That's the thing. He's got so much money in the bank. And especially at his age, he could spend wantonly every day until he dies and not go broke, right? He's past that point.
But
in his head, is he past that point? Because that's the other issue that, honestly, I think that boomers struggle from is they come from that point where they had parents, they went through the depression and all the shit, and they lost everything. And I think they have it in the back of their mind that no matter how much you got,
it could be gone.
You're going to be gone.
Oh, no. That's a problem I have. I have a real fear of losing all the money that I have because that exact thing where I grew up in a family that we lived paycheck to paycheck, and my parents are boomers, and it was, we could lose it all. That was a real fear. So I get that. Those are also the same people that are mad that Howard isn't like throwing baloney off strippers' asses anymore.
Right.
They're like, this is woke bullshit. It's like, no, he's evolved.
People that
like
want to
everybody.
Grow up. It's 100%. People.
I don't want to see that anymore. I mean, I would still watch it. It'd be hilarious, but
how dare he has a different opinion on the president.
Yeah, right.
Because, 30 years ago, he interviewed the president when the president was literally a playboy, and he treated him like a playboy. But now he's the leader of the free world, and how dare you look at that man differently under that lens? You know what I mean?
And given who we're talking about, who Howard's talking about, I think it's
just that concept in general of like
Howard says, I voted Republican, I voted Democrat, I'm an independent. He just talks about common sense. His politics align with mine. Where it's just common sense. And if what he says on the air rubs you the wrong way, then you're on the wrong side of things, in my opinion.
Or not. That's his fucking career.
Whatever the fuck. He's paid to talk.
Invented a shock jock. That was the whole.
Yeah. He's not shocking enough for them, but when he shocks them with his political opinions, suddenly that's too much.
Number one reason people gave. We want to hear what he's going to say next.
That's the truth. People didn't want to turn it.
Probably the best line, anything that anybody should pay attention to.
At one time, and I might be fudging the numbers, but it's close. At one time, every 3 cars in America were listening to Howard. Maybe it was just in the Northeast. There was an entire region, if not the country, where at one time in terrestrial radio, every 3 cars had Howard on. I mean, that's fucking insane.
It's true. Anyway.
You got one more thing.
From the long-standing king of all media to new media. Just a little. We're doing a lot of celebrity gossip today. This is
we're like two little
celebrity gossip. This is the celebrity gossip section of Good News York.
We're just like two old ladies at a barbershop with the perm thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about Brianna Chickenfry.
Let's talk about her. Brianna Chickenfry, which was not on my radar until I saw this Barstool.
I'm sorry, I just love that name. Of course, that's not a real name, but it's the best stage name, I guess, nickname. I don't even know if she goes by it as a stage name, but it's just fun to say. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and then after the show, this for a recap, this is a young woman podcast host who works for Barstool. Hosts a podcast called BFFs, I believe. Just an interesting young
personality.
Lady.
Yeah.
Celebrity, you would say, these days. Sure. Dated celebrity country singer, Zach Bryan. They broke up. Apparently, he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Allegedly. Yeah. Don't sue me. Or do. Use the publicity.
Good publicity.
Anyway, they broke up. He tried to offer her $12 million to not say a word about his behavior during the relationship. She said no.
She's badass.
I feel like that really chapped his ass more than anything else.
That is badass, man.
It's been a while. They've been broken up for a number of months now. Homeboy's still hurting for it. So I want to show you a couple things. The first thing I just want to show you is a TikTok video that just kind of puts Brianna next to Zach Bryan's new girlfriend. And I just want your opinion and see if you think this fella has a type.
And full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm about to see.
Yeah. So Danny might have this. This is you will see. This is a reaction video. So this is a random creator. I don't know who she is in the foreground.
Okay.
Talking about this.
And the girl on the left in the background is that's Brianna Chickenfry.
And Zach's new girl
is on the right.
So if you want to play this, buddy, and honestly, the audio isn't even super important. But just so you can see, and if you can just pause it right there.
Dude, they look like the same person.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Is that where you're going?
One's Brianna, one's the new girl. Or are they two pictures of the same girl?
This is the Kanye thing you were talking about.
This is exactly what I'm saying. So Girl misses her bad.
Yeah.
Badly.
Yeah.
Right? And again, this has gone on.
Type.
This has gone on for months. So, Brianna's talked about it in a bunch of different podcasts, on her own podcast, things like that. Different things that have happened. Definitely paint him as a typical just hothead asshole boyfriend.
Sure.
Honestly, nothing that I feel like was worth trying to get her to stay quiet for $12 million for. And I don't know, maybe there's more she's holding back. I don't know what it is. But again, really chapping this guy's ass. And if we cut to the new video, so we talked about them yesterday, and I got home and flipped on the TikTok and learned this is something that Homeboy dropped yesterday that I wasn't aware of.
That's Zach Bryan?
This is Zach Bryan. This is his Instagram story where he films himself badly Happy Gilmoring a burning Barstool Sports flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because this is where my mind goes. First of all, $12 million to not smear him. That, first of all, that's a huge offer. Like, I would think maybe 2, 3 million, 4 million.
Right.
So my question is,
they didn't date that long.
If she turns it down, it's got to be one of two things. She either doesn't need the money and doesn't care about it, or he did some really bad shit that she wants people to know.
Why not both?
Or maybe both. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude.
So, I don't know exactly what she makes from Barstool, and I'm positive that she's got other brand deals and things like that as influencers.
Yeah.
Like she does. But she definitely has, as Howard would say, fuck you money.
She must.
You know, anybody who can turn down $12 million.
Dude, if you gave me $12 million to never say your name again, bye. I will never, I'll pretend I don't know you.
Dude, your wife would do that.
Yes. To me. Not
seriously,
to you.
though.
Yeah.
$12 million to not do something. Imagine how hard you got to work for that. All I have to do is not do that. But she's like, no. Listen, I'm not, you're not going to buy my silence, which is awesome. Because quite frankly, too many dudes are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
To ladies and scare them into not speaking about it.
Good for her, man.
You
She's
know?
setting an example for younger women. Like, don't take men's shit. Don't let them pay you off.
But let's step back a minute and talk about this flag burning thing, because this is a shot. I don't even want to say across the bow. This is a shot into the side of the fucking boat. And he's picking a fight, not with Brianna anymore, but with Barstool, which is Dave Portnoy.
And Dave Portnoy, that's like hitting a hornet's nest.
Dude.
Because he doesn't give a shit.
It's like hitting all the hornet's nests.
At once.
Yes. Here's the thing about Dave Portnoy. He is the most, I don't give a fuck. I will burn it all down for somebody who besmirches my name, motherfucker, on the planet.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy is a guy who has bottles of expensive champagne on a shelf with his enemy's name on them. So when he takes them down, he pops a celebratory bottle.
That's great.
That's how fucking vindictive this guy is.
I don't know if he's a guy I could ever hang out with. Maybe I could. Maybe we'd be best friends. Maybe we'd be enemies.
I'd love to. We'd eat a lot of pizza.
I love. I could eat pizza all day, every day. I respect that he is not afraid to say how he feels or who he offends.
No.
And he is, truly, because people say that, I don't care, but they do. He doesn't give a fuck.
No.
And I've seen him go on and bitch about, liberals and he's pro-Trump. And then when Trump has done things, I've seen him go on and trash Trump and say, I was wrong about this. And I respect when someone can at least say, hey, I was
He's one of those guys where you might not like him, and that's okay, but he is never a guy that you can say you don't understand where he stands or that he's fake.
That's true.
And that's something that I honestly respect, even in people that maybe I don't completely agree with. If you're a guy who I know is honest, even in their anger, that's somebody that I have a little bit of respect for.
And he even does it in his pizza ratings. He doesn't hand out 9s and 10s. I don't think I've ever seen him hand out a 10. He's like that in everything. He's not afraid to be like, it's good.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I don't know
where do we go next?
I don't know if Zach Bryan is like, I don't know what his intention here is. Clearly he doesn't have great judgment.
No, and a terrible golf swing. Why the shot at Barstool? I mean, I get that she works there, but had they said something about him, or did he just go,
well,
fuck
I mean,
it, I'm going to
go? The conversation's been going, on, and of course their team, their girl, as they should be. But
I don't think he knows what he did.
I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Or, here's the other side to that, or this is literally the only thing that's kept him relevant.
See, there's always that element of, I don't really care that much, but I'm going to make a big stink out of it.
I mean, I personally can't name a single Zach Bryan song, but that's because I don't listen to that genre. I don't know where he stands in that. I know he was a big name in country. Is he still? I don't know.
The name. There's
Have
a Luke
plays
Bryan,
gone
Zach
down?
Bryan.
I mean, all these fuckers blur together.
Yeah.
They look like you with the hat backwards. I couldn't. You could put them in a police lineup, and I couldn't pick the
Jason
fucking
Aldean, Zach Bryan, Luke Bryan.
I couldn't pick the Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy from Tear in My Beer.
Yeah.
That's way old. That's fucking. That's
old.
I went way back.
I'll go even.
That's some Hank. Anyway,
little thunder roll, and the lightning strike.
No, that's Garth Brooks. He had
I love Garth. Yeah, dude, he's the Hulk Hogan of, not off the field, but he's the guy of country. Yeah, let's not go there.
No, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Anyway, wild times. We will keep you abreast of all that happens because
well, you
got to have a celebrity gossip segment,
dude. I got to tell you, when you said you want to talk about some celebrity gossip before we went on, I was like, okay, you got me hooked. Now I'm invested in this story. We've got to follow this through. We've got to see it through.
Stay tuned for more. But I think that's probably all we got for today.
I mean, we had a full plate today.
We got any guests tomorrow?
Tomorrow we do. Who do we have tomorrow? Danny, who do we have tomorrow? Oh, dude, we have Max Kessler, the actor who was on Syracuse.com. He played Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say stunt double because he wasn't really doing stunts. He was his body double, that is, for a montage in Happy Gilmore 2 where he's showing the old Sandler because he kind of looks like Sandler. He went to SU. We talked about this yesterday. He's an actor in New York City now, and he got right back to me, dude. I emailed him. I said, love to have you on the show. He's like, I'm in. I'll do it remote. So we have him on tomorrow.
Nice.
So now I have an excuse to say, kids, leave the room. I have to watch Happy Gilmore 2 tonight for work, for business.
Business. All right. Well, with that.
It is Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com. Mike Brindisi, Matt Mazer, we love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace out.